Picture this. A woman gives her heart, her time, and her energy to a man, believing that their bond will naturally deepen after intimacy. But then, unexpectedly, he pulls away. Days turn into weeks, and just as she begins to move on, he reappears, drawn back as if by an invisible force. Why does this happen? Why do some women remain unforgettable, while others are easily left behind? Many believe that physical intimacy alone is enough to secure a man's devotion, but the truth is much deeper. A woman's true power lies not in what she gives, but in what she commands after giving. It's not about playing games or pretending not to care. It's about understanding the psychology of attraction and mastering emotional self-sufficiency. By the end of this discussion, you will understand exactly what makes a woman truly unforgettable and how to embody the confidence and emotional strength that naturally draw men in. Not by force, but by choice. Let's begin. Part 1. The power of space. Why men chase what they can't have. One of the biggest mistakes women make after intimacy is seeking immediate reassurance. They text first, overanalyze responses, and try to gauge his level of interest. But here's the truth. Attraction grows in space, not in suffocation. Men are wired to value what they must work for. Throughout history, scarcity has driven desire. When something is too available, it's taken for granted. When something is rare and requires effort to obtain, it becomes more valuable. Imagine 2 books on a shelf, one free and easily accessible, the other rare and difficult to find. Which one do people naturally value more? The same applies to relationships. The principle of scarcity plays a crucial role in attraction. The more someone has to invest time, effort, and emotions into something, the more valuable it becomes. This is not manipulation, it is human nature. When a woman creates natural space after intimacy, she activates a man's deep-seated instinct to pursue. This does not mean ignoring him or playing games. It means shifting the focus back to yourself. Instead of waiting for his next move, immerse yourself in your own life, passions, and goals. Show through your actions that while you enjoy his company, your world does not revolve around him. Why men chase what they can't have. The chase is an inherent part of male psychology. From an evolutionary perspective, men were hunters and providers. Their survival depended on their ability to track, chase, and secure what was needed. This instinct extends into relationships. When a man perceives that he must work to gain a woman's attention and affection, his interest heightens. Conversely, when everything is given freely and too soon, it loses its perceived value. This is why men often seem more invested in women who maintain a sense of mystery and independence. The power of space in relationships. Giving a man space after intimacy does 2 powerful things. It forces him to feel your absence. If he reaches out and finds you genuinely busy, he begins to miss you. He starts wondering what you're doing, why you're not immediately available, and whether he has truly won you over. It communicates your value. A woman who doesn't seek validation is a woman who understands her worth. She is confident and self-assured, a quality that is magnetic. It's important to differentiate between creating space naturally and playing manipulative games. The key is authenticity. Here are some ways to create natural space while remaining genuine. Stay engaged in your own life. Continue pursuing your passions, career, and social life. The more fulfilled you are outside of the relationship, the more attractive you become. Don't always be the first to initiate contact. Let him reach out sometimes. This doesn't mean you should never text first, but it means you allow a natural balance to develop. Set personal boundaries. If you were busy before meeting him, remain busy. Don't cancel plans or rearrange your schedule just to be available. Maintain a sense of mystery. You don't have to reveal everything about yourself too soon. Let him discover things about you over time. While space is powerful, too much distance can have the opposite effect. The goal is to create a dynamic where a man feels challenged but still connected. If a woman becomes too detached, he may feel rejected or lose interest altogether. The key is intentional presence, being engaged and warm when together, but maintaining independence when apart. A woman who can balance affection with autonomy creates an irresistible pull. Why clinginess kills attraction? Clinginess often stems from insecurity and fear of loss. When a woman becomes overly available or seeks constant reassurance, it can feel suffocating. Instead of drawing a man closer, it pushes him away. A confident woman does not need to chase. She understands that her value does not diminish based on someone else's attention. She trusts in the natural ebb and flow of attraction. The most attractive women are those who exude self-confidence. This doesn't mean arrogance. It means knowing your worth and carrying yourself with assurance. Here are some ways to build confidence. Practice self-care. Invest time in your physical, mental, and emotional well-being. Develop your passions. The more interesting your life is, the more naturally attractive you become. Surround yourself with positive influences. Avoid people who drain your energy or make you feel inadequate. Embrace solitude. Learn to enjoy your own company. A woman who is comfortable alone radiates strength. The role of feminine energy in attraction. Feminine energy is about receptivity, intuition, and flow. It contrasts with masculine energy, which is about pursuit and structure. When a woman embraces her feminine energy, she allows the man to step into his masculine role naturally. This doesn't mean women should suppress their desires or opinions. It means understanding the natural dance of attraction. When a woman leans into her own essence, she becomes magnetic. Letting a man chase doesn't mean becoming passive. It means being intentional with your energy. Here's how. Be warm but not overly eager. Show interest without overwhelming him. Give space after intimacy. Let him process his emotions and come to his own conclusions. Be confident in your worth. The right man will pursue you if he truly values you. Understanding the power of space in attraction is about recognizing your own value. A woman who knows her worth does not feel the need to chase or seek constant reassurance. Instead, she allows space for a man to pursue, creating a dynamic that is both natural and exciting. By focusing on personal growth, maintaining independence, and embracing feminine energy, a woman becomes irresistibly attractive. The right man will recognize her worth and put in the effort to keep her close. Attraction is not about manipulation. It's about understanding human nature. When you create space, you invite a man to step forward, and in that space, true desire is cultivated. Part 2. The Queen's Mindset: Confidence, Self-Worth, and Emotional Strength. A high-value woman carries herself with grace, confidence, and an unwavering sense of self-worth. She understands her value and refuses to settle for anything less than she deserves. This mindset is not just about attracting men, it's about living a fulfilling, independent life where she is in control of her happiness and decisions. There are 3 core principles that high-value women embrace. They do not chase validation. They remain engaged in their own lives. They set boundaries without fear. By embodying these principles, a woman exudes confidence and emotional strength, making her magnetic to those around her. 1. They do not chase validation. A high-value woman does not seek external validation to feel complete. She knows her worth comes from within, not from how others perceive her. She trusts that if someone truly values her, they will show up and make an effort without her needing to chase them. Women who seek validation often find themselves in situations where they compromise their own needs just to be liked or accepted. This leads to toxic relationships where they overextend themselves for people who do not reciprocate. However, a woman with a queen's mindset understands that self-worth is non-negotiable. She does not beg for love, attention, or approval. Instead, she focuses on self-acceptance and self-love. Consider Rachel's story. After a painful breakup, she realized she had spent too much time trying to make her ex happy, losing herself in the process. Instead of wallowing in self-pity, she chose to rebuild her confidence. She stopped seeking validation from her past relationship and turned inward, recognizing that her value was independent of anyone else's opinion. When a woman stops seeking validation, she becomes more attractive, not because she is playing hard to get, but because she radiates self-assurance. This energy naturally draws people towards her, whether in friendships, work relationships, or romantic connections. They remain engaged in their own lives. A high-value woman does not make a romantic relationship the center of her universe. She has passions, interests, and goals that extend beyond her love life. Her sense of fulfillment comes from multiple sources: her career, friendships, personal growth, and hobbies, not just from a partner. When a woman becomes too dependent on a relationship for happiness, she loses sight of her individuality. This not only puts unnecessary pressure on the relationship, but also diminishes her personal power. A confident woman understands that a romantic relationship should complement her life, not define it. Rachel, for example, made a conscious effort to focus on her personal development after her breakup. She went back to school, pursued her passions, travelled to new places, and expanded her social circle. She didn't wait for her ex to come back. She was too busy living her life. This growth transformed her mindset and elevated her self-esteem. Ironically, this is often when an ex or even a new higher quality partner begins to take notice. Men are naturally drawn to women who have fulfilling lives because it shows confidence, independence, and depth. More importantly, a woman who is engaged in her own life sets a standard for the type of relationship she desires, one that is equal, supportive, and mutually enriching. Number 3, they set boundaries without fear. Setting boundaries is an essential trait of a high-value woman. She understands that boundaries are not about pushing people away, but about protecting her energy, time, and self-respect. She does not tolerate disrespect, dishonesty, or emotional neglect just to keep someone in her life. Women who struggle with boundaries often fear losing people. They may accept poor treatment, make endless compromises, or stay silent about their needs to avoid conflict. However, a confident woman knows that setting boundaries does not mean she is difficult or demanding. It means she values herself. Rachel's growth journey included learning to say no. When her ex finally reached out after months of silence, she did not immediately fall back into old patterns. Instead, she assessed whether he aligned with the new standards she had set for herself. She was no longer the woman who tolerated inconsistency or half-hearted effort. By setting boundaries, Rachel communicated that she was no longer willing to settle for anything less than she deserved, and this in turn made her even more attractive, not because she was playing games, but because she genuinely respected herself. The power of confidence and emotional strength. Confidence is irresistible. When a woman embraces her worth, engages in her own life, and sets strong boundaries, she exudes a presence that captivates others. This mindset does not just impact romantic relationships, it transforms every aspect of life. A high-value woman does not need to chase anyone because she understands that the right person will recognize her worth. She does not need constant reassurance because she trusts in herself. She does not fear walking away from situations that do not serve her because she knows that her happiness is her responsibility. This level of confidence is what makes a woman unforgettable. She does not beg for love, she chooses it. And in doing so, she naturally attracts relationships that are more fulfilling, balanced, and respectful. If you want to embody the Queen's mindset, start by focusing on these key steps. Practice self-validation. Remind yourself daily that your worth is not dependent on external approval. Build a fulfilling life. Engage in hobbies, career growth, friendships, and self-improvement. Set firm boundaries. Do not tolerate behavior that disrespects your values and self-respect. Embrace emotional strength. Handle rejection or setbacks with grace, knowing that something better is always ahead. Choose yourself first. Make decisions that prioritize your well-being and happiness. Rachel's journey serves as a reminder that personal growth and self-respect lead to true confidence. When a woman stops chasing and starts choosing herself, the world around her shifts. The people who belong in her life will step up to meet her standards, and those who do not will naturally fade away. Becoming a high-value woman is not about playing games or following a rigid set of rules. It is about cultivating a mindset that empowers you to live authentically, love deeply, and move forward with unwavering confidence. When you embody this mindset, you will find that the right people and opportunities naturally gravitate toward you. The Queen's mindset is about more than relationships. It's about how you carry yourself in every aspect of life. Confidence, self-worth, and emotional strength create a foundation for lasting happiness, fulfillment, and success. The moment you stop seeking external validation, fully engage in your own life, and set strong boundaries, you will notice a shift. You will no longer settle for less than you deserve. You will become the woman who walks into a room and commands respect without saying a word. You will become the woman who chooses herself every day, and in doing so, you will attract the love, friendships, and opportunities that align with your true worth. Own your power, walk with confidence, live with intention. That is the essence of the Queen's mindset. Part 3. Emotional control. The key to unbreakable attraction. Many women find themselves emotionally entangled after intimacy. They overanalyze text messages, searching for hidden meanings behind every word. They replay conversations, trying to decipher whether a man's tone or phrasing suggests affection or indifference. Some even react impulsively, sending multiple messages or expressing frustration out of fear of abandonment. This emotional rollercoaster can create unnecessary tension, leading to misunderstandings that push a man further away. However, men are drawn to women who embody emotional stability and self-control. A woman who maintains her composure, regardless of external circumstances, exudes a quiet confidence that is irresistibly attractive. When a man senses that a woman is grounded in herself, he feels a deep sense of respect and admiration for her. What defines a high-value woman? A high-value woman does not allow external validation to dictate her emotions. She understands that intimacy is not a binding contract for commitment, but rather an opportunity to observe and assess a potential partner. Instead of desperately seeking reassurance, she remains calm and collected, allowing the relationship to unfold naturally. A woman who lacks emotional control might second-guess herself after intimacy. She may question whether she was good enough, whether the man still finds her attractive, or whether she should have done something differently. This self-doubt creates anxiety, which can lead to needy behavior. A high-value woman, on the other hand, operates from a place of security. She does not need constant affirmation to feel worthy. She trusts herself, knowing that her value is not determined by any single interaction or by someone else's validation. One of the biggest mistakes women make is chasing a man when he starts to pull away. Many women misinterpret a man's need for space as a sign that he is losing interest. In reality, men often retreat temporarily to process emotions, handle stress, or regain a sense of independence. A high-value woman respects this natural dynamic. She understands that if a man is truly interested, he will return. Instead of bombarding him with messages or demanding attention, she focuses on her own life, her passions, friendships, and personal growth. This composure makes her even more attractive because it shows that she is not dependent on him for her happiness. Why men respect emotionally composed women? Men navigate a world filled with pressure. Career expectations, financial responsibilities, societal demands, and personal ambitions. The last thing they want is to feel emotionally burdened by a relationship. This does not mean that men do not want emotional depth. They simply do not want emotional chaos. A woman who can regulate her emotions becomes a source of peace rather than stress. She is someone a man can turn to without fear of drama or unnecessary conflict. She listens, understands, and provides support without smothering him. This balance makes a man feel safe, respected, and deeply connected to her. If you find yourself struggling with emotional impulsivity in relationships, know that emotional control is a skill that can be developed. Here are some practical steps to help you cultivate it. 1. Practice self-awareness. Before reacting emotionally, take a moment to check in with yourself. Ask, what am I feeling right now? Why am I feeling this way? Is my reaction based on reality or fear? By pausing to analyze your emotions, you prevent yourself from acting impulsively and potentially sabotaging a budding relationship. 2. Develop a fulfilling life outside of romance. The most attractive women are those who have rich, fulfilling lives beyond their relationships. Invest in hobbies, career goals, friendships, and personal growth. When your happiness is not solely dependent on a man's attention, you naturally become more emotionally independent and self-assured. 3. Respond, don't react. Emotional control is about responding thoughtfully rather than reacting impulsively. When a man does something that triggers an emotional response, such as pulling away or not texting back immediately, resist the urge to act out of fear. Instead, give yourself time to process the situation logically before responding. For example, instead of texting him immediately with frustration, take a step back and engage in an activity that brings you joy. This space allows you to respond from a place of confidence rather than desperation. 4. Embrace the power of silence. Silence is one of the most powerful tools in attraction. If a man senses that you are unaffected by his inconsistency, he will be intrigued by your self-sufficiency. This does not mean playing games or using silence as a form of manipulation. It simply means that you do not feel the need to fill every gap with words or reassurance-seeking behavior. You trust that what is meant for you will come naturally. 5. Set boundaries and standards. Emotionally controlled women set clear boundaries and uphold high standards. They do not tolerate inconsistent behavior, disrespect, or emotional manipulation. They communicate their needs assertively but without drama. For example, if a man repeatedly cancels plans last minute, an emotionally composed woman will not beg for his time. Instead, she will express her disappointment calmly and, if necessary, distance herself. This self-respect commands admiration and ensures that she only invests in relationships that align with her values. The long-term benefits of emotional control in relationships. Mastering emotional control does not mean suppressing your feelings. Rather, it means managing your emotions in a way that fosters healthy relationships. Here are the long-term benefits. Stronger attraction. Men are naturally drawn to women who exude emotional stability. It signals maturity, self-respect, and confidence, all of which are highly desirable qualities. More fulfilling relationships. Instead of engaging in cycles of drama and emotional turbulence, you create a relationship dynamic based on mutual respect, understanding, and trust. Increased self-worth. When you practice emotional control, you cultivate a deeper sense of self-worth. You no longer seek external validation because you know your value comes from within. Better decision-making. Emotionally impulsive decisions often lead to regret. By practicing self-control, you make wiser choices that align with your long-term happiness. In the realm of attraction and relationships, emotional control is the ultimate game changer. Women who master this skill set themselves apart as high-value individuals who command respect and admiration. They do not chase love. They attract it effortlessly by being secure, composed, and independent. By focusing on self-awareness, developing a fulfilling life, responding rather than reacting, and maintaining high standards, you cultivate the kind of energy that captivates men on a deep level. More importantly, you create a foundation for relationships that are not based on fear or neediness, but on genuine connection and mutual respect. So, the next time you feel the urge to react emotionally, pause, take a deep breath, remind yourself of your worth. The ability to control your emotions is not just the key to attraction, it's the key to personal empowerment and lasting happiness. Own your worth, and they will chase you. If you take one lesson from this, let it be this: you are the prize. The moment you stop chasing and start choosing yourself, everything changes. When a man sees that you are not dependent on his validation, he will begin to see your value in a whole new light. True attraction is not about convincing someone to like you. It's about standing so firmly in your worth that the right person naturally gravitates toward you. Men value what they must work for. It's human nature to appreciate what isn't easily obtained. When you constantly chase, overgive, or seek approval, you unknowingly lower your value in his eyes. But when you stand in your confidence, knowing you are enough with or without him, he will step up to meet your standards. Attraction grows in space, not suffocation. The more you focus on your personal growth, passions, and happiness, the more attractive you become. Desperation repels, while self-assurance draws people in. A woman who is centered in herself is a woman who is unforgettable. Your self-worth is your greatest magnet. When you truly believe in your own value, you will no longer tolerate half-hearted love, mixed signals, or emotional unavailability. Instead, you will naturally attract a partner who recognizes and respects your worth. Confidence, emotional strength, and a clear sense of self make a woman irresistible. If you want a man to chase you, the key is not manipulation or games, it's genuine self-love. Invest in yourself, set boundaries, and watch as the right people rise to meet you. If you found this valuable, let's continue the conversation. Leave a comment below, like this video, and subscribe to Golden Years Balance for more deep insights into relationships, psychology, and personal growth. You are enough, you are valuable, and the right man will recognize that.